What is going on, my wonderful YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Tuesday, November 17th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. In today's video, we want to take some time and answer more of the questions you have been sending us over the last few days, and really last few weeks, in regards to what's happening with the game right now. Most of you know we do a state of the game, which we will do tomorrow, but there are so many questions we felt it would be better to break it up into 2 days. Now, if you happen to be new to our channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really helps us out. We are going to jump right into it, my friends. So first off, as most of you know, the new Manhunt Target Belfry came out today, and there's really not too much to talk about because it's really the same rinse and repeat on completing certain things throughout DC. Now that does mean there is also double XP right now, but keep in mind that you only get the double XP for the first 15 shade levels that you gain. After that, it automatically turns off. You can see here on the screen all the things you need to do in order to take down Belfry. You go through DC. It's the same thing like I mentioned ago that we've done for the other targets. And the good thing is that once you beat Belfry and you've beaten the 3 other targets, you will then have access to Barden Schaefer and be able to get the new skill variant, which is the Shrapnel Trap. Now, I happen to think the new Shrapnel Trap should be a lot of fun to use. Please leave me your opinions, comments down below, all that good stuff. Now, you can see I have a ton of catching up to do, and what I'm going to wind up doing today is just running all of these different, missions on normal. That way I can rip through it as quick as I can. And that, my friends, is really it in regards to the new stuff. Now we want to take some time and answer some of your questions. And one thing I'd like to say as we start is you guys, as a community, you guys are amazing. Like, I love the back and forth that we have, players helping each other out. It's just so great what we're building here. I mean, for instance, I posted a video like a half hour or whatever ago about farming certain items today, and someone had a question in regards how to get the EMP sticky bomb because they weren't able to get it from one of the previous seasons. Now, they asked me how to, get it now, and to be honest, I couldn't really remember, but moments after that, another sub responded and pointed him in the right direction. And that is exactly why I created this channel, for us to work together, regardless of how the game is. Look, we all want to see this game improve, without a doubt. But the fact that we're also helping each other out, in my opinion, is exactly what makes this community great. So now let's get back to where the game is right now. Now, originally, my intent this morning was to bring you a video showing you and highlighting all of the different weapons and gear that's coming up in TU12, but to be honest, I kept getting Bravo errors and I kept getting kicked off the server, so I couldn't play. Now, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, one of the problems is when you play on a PTS, it's for finding issues. So if you have issues, they're going to take note of it, but that does not necessarily mean it's going to get fixed. So for me, I have not been able to play this thing, and it's been driving me crazy. So in case you're wondering, my friends, why you are not seeing footage from the PTSs, I've just given up trying. Like, it's just wasted so much of my time. I'd rather report on things we're hearing, and once this thing actually launches, then everyone will have an opportunity to really give their input. Now, we happen to have gotten a lot of questions in regards to the PTS, and one of the most common ones is, what is the point of having this thing? When you have such a small amount of people giving their input, why is it actually being done? And actually, one of our subs put it perfectly, and I'm going to paraphrase, but basically he was saying, look, the whole point of a PTS is to make sure that if anything is really broken before it's rolled out, they get to fix it before everybody has to deal with the drama. However, one of the issues we deal with as Division 2 players is that we're still having problems from multiple title updates. I mean, from title update 10, there were issues, 11, and now coming up with 12. It's one of those things where it's like these issues keep stacking on top of each other, and they never seem to get solved. Now, in regards to actual feedback with the PTS that we've heard, just like everything with this game, it's very polarizing. You have people who love what they see, and you have other people thinking, like, what is the point of these updates? Like, I don't see any decent gear or weapons that I actually want to use. Now, in my opinion, from the small sample, playtime that I've gotten, there happens to be some really great stuff. Like, you guys saw footage a second ago from my current skill build with TU11. I love this thing, but there happen to be a few other items that can really strengthen it. And I know there's a large portion of the community that doesn't really enjoy running skill builds, but for everyone else, I mean, there's this amazing exotic shotgun, which is just a beast, and there are other items that you will definitely be able to do some builds around. The next thing we want to talk about are things that a lot of you, including myself, want to hear from the state of the game tomorrow. We don't need generalizations. We want hard input. We want facts. We want things to look forward to actually keep us playing the game, and more importantly, to actually get people back to the game. The first thing has to do with Codename Nightmare, which is something that's taking place at Kenley College, and I can only hope it's something decent that maybe somehow in some way replicates, survival from the first division. That is my biggest dream, is that they'll implement something in this game that people really, really want. The next major topic that has to be discussed has to do with PvP. And my friends, look, I've said it before, I'm saying it again now, I don't play PvP, but that aspect of the community has been completely forgotten about. And in my opinion, the worst part about that is they haven't even addressed the issues. They haven't even talked about it. It's been skated over. They're talking about things that are upcoming when things in the past haven't been dealt with, and those directly affect what we can look forward to in the future. The next thing a lot of you are asking is, when are they going to really talk about the loot quality in the game? Now, we know that with TU11, they introduced the whole scaling system, and they also started to talk about the fact that, when you have more directives, in theory, your loot should be better when you're farming. However, we have heard from multiple people that's just not the case. It's just not happening. Now, the one thing we have found out is that you can run solo and have like 5 directives or 4, whatever it is, running. However, you always seem to get better gear in a group without any directives. So for people who like to matchmake, that can work out. However, a large portion of the community only plays solo, and I'll speak for myself when I say if I'm in the summit and I'm doing 7 directives and not getting anything decent, what's the point of the directives? I mean, I would much rather play at a difficulty that's more enjoyable, roll the dice, hope I get something decent, because if I'm doing something with 7 directives and it's this huge chore, but there's no actual return on my investment in regards to time, it's not going to make me want to try that again. And in my opinion, the most important thing in this game, look, there are a lot of positives, there are also some negatives, but the most important thing happens to be the quality of loot. It's a looter-shooter, so the baseline of what we get needs to be a lot better. And I happen to think that should be for all difficulties, because if you get stuck on hard difficulty and you're not getting decent loot to make it to challenging, you're going to get to the stalemate, and again, what's the point of doing something if you don't feel you're actually getting the rewards? One of the next things a lot of you are asking about has to do with rogue agents and why aren't they appearing more frequently. Now, the good thing is that in the summit, and I think in the open world as well, they've said that TU12, they're going to be implementing a higher percentage of the rogue agents actually showing up. And for me, that's one of my favorite aspects of farming, because that is when I know I'm going to get good gear. Like, if you go back to the beginning of this video, I faced 2 rogue agents in the summit. And first of all, when I'm in the summit, that's really the only time I get good gear on my own, is when I'm facing rogue agents. Now, please let me know your thoughts on that down below, but I personally hope that they do increase those percentages, because when you're getting those rogue agents, you seem to be getting really good loot also, and that, in my opinion, is, the whole point in really doing this thing, is to get that god-rolled, those items. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to wrap up this video. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be putting out a State of the Game recap tomorrow. You've heard me say the things I hope they talk about. These bug fixes need to... look, my guy's climbing up the side of the wall. There's a ladder right there, and he's climbing up the wall. And it's funny because I think that's a perfect way to end this video. It's like, these are the things we need fixed. I love that they're still putting effort into the game. I love that there's the idea that there will continue to be improvements with everything going on, but they also have to fix these major things and, more importantly, address them. As always, I want to take a quick moment and thank you all again for being part of this community. You guys are amazing. You know how much I love this game. That's why I talk about both sides of the coin. I've said it. I will always play this game. I love it, and I really hope they continue to work on it and turn it into the game that we hope it can be. Or actually just continue to keep people engaged so they make a Division 3. Because I'm hoping, they did the Division 1. It was great. It was perfect. It took a while to get there, but they finally got there. The Division 2, I think the majority of it, like the game itself was great. It's the end game stuff that really drove us crazy. So my personal hope is that they take all of this stuff they've learned from the first 2 games and just make a super, I don't know, man. I think if they just really listen to what the players are saying, what they love to see in the game, things they can implement, that if they were to make a Division 3, it could be really a great combination of both games. Anyway, my friends, if you happen to be new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. But most importantly, take care, be kind, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.